Right, hello. Today's going to be a bit of a shorter video, but I thought it might be interesting for you lot. I'm going to be trying to handle a very cage defensive snake, and I'm going to just show you how I do it. So, the cage defensive snake in question is Gordon, the hognose, who is running away. You can just about see him there. So Gordon is a 2-year-old male hognose, and in typical hoggy fashion, they are rather hissy. Some would say a hissy bitch. God, if I ever get monetized, that's not going to be monetized. So I'll arrange the tripod just so that you can see me get him out, and I'm just going to show you how to handle him. So with this hognose, putting my hand in there, not a good idea because he bluff strikes. So we'll be using the extendable snake hook. I've got a big one. It's a little bit sturdier, but that's for obviously larger animals. This one's only a tiny animal. So we'll be using my orange snake hook, and wish me luck. So this is Gordon's viv here, and we basically just extend it a little bit, hook him out, put him in my hand. So actually I will put you up here so you can kind of see what I'm doing. So I've moved the glass to this side of the viv. I'll stand on this side, and Gordon is in the back here. So Gordon will probably hiss, but it's really not that bad. So obviously with a smaller snake, I can put my hand in the enclosure, no problem. And obviously he's only mildly rear fang venomous, so he's not going to hurt me if he bites me, unless he chews down on me, because the venom comes out of the glands at the back. Sorry, Royal's drinking just caught my eye. So, Gordon. So, as you can see there, I imagine, you couldn't see much actually now I'm thinking about it, so we'll try and coerce him to the front. So we'll stroke him just a little bit. He's actually in a better mood, but I'll show you how to do it with the hook anyway. So we'll just keep his head there, and then that's the hognose. So we'll set him down so he gets a better hook, and then move my hand underneath. Out. That's what you don't want to happen. So what he did there was, I'll show you, he actually buried himself under the substrate and in the shrubbery. So we'll try this again from this side. So a lot of people will call me a wimp for doing this. I do usually get him in my hands, but I just wanted to show you how to do it with a snake hook on a smaller snake, because the big snake that's cage defensive, I do have to just get in there with my hands, and she's not really cage defensive, she's just a bit of a hissy. Well, she's just a bit of a sassy snake. So this one's the one that would actually hit my hands if I was to put my hands in there. There's also a baby up there, but because I'm coming from the top of a baby, that's the only reason they do that. I'm going to show a better example. Come on, Gordon. So, even though that was a little bit of a fight, it wasn't because he was running or anything. It was because he was underneath the shrubbery. So, now, after he's outside of the viv, I'll crouch down a little bit for the camera, he's actually not too bad. However, if I stroke him, he will flit out a little bit, as you've just seen. He does hood up, so this bit of his head here actually puffs out just below his eyes. So it's called hooding up because that's what like cobras and stuff do in the wild. However, a common misconception is that they mimic cobras. Now, hognoses will never ever seen a cobra in their life because of where they're found. He's a bit freaked out at the minute. So that's actually incorrect. It's just a defense mechanism, and it is their first line of defense. So they've got a few. So they hood up, they hiss, they bluff strike. So bluff strike means they like headbutt you with this little nose they've got, rather than actually biting you, because they know they're not going to be able to hurt something bigger than them. And also they play dead. Now when they play dead, they also excrete this awful smell. Now Gordon's never done this, because Gordon, as far as hognoses go, has always been pretty good. Now another interesting fact is obviously they're not constricted. So what you can see him doing there is digging his nose in. So what he does is he digs his nose in, A, to bury himself and burrow, but also B, to move, because he is obviously a colubrid that is not a constrictor. So it means that he's a little bit weaker when it comes to arboreal movements, and moving off of land, basically. So because he's moving through my hands, he's really struggling to like keep himself up, so he has to dig his head in, as you can see there. He might do it in a second. Nope. Oh, don't flit out, Gordon. To actually keep stable. So as you can see there, you know, when he let go rather than constricting, he just let go. He doesn't really have the grip that constrictors have. But yeah, basically, to handle a caged defensive snake, usually when they're out of the cage, they're completely fine to handle. But to get them out, especially the bigger ones, you need a snake hook. Not always, but it's recommended so you don't get bit. And you basically just get the front end of them with the snake hook here, and you grab the back end and then place them in your hand to hold, or use the snake hook as your other hand. With Gordon, I can obviously use both hands because once he's out, he's completely fine. And I just wanted to show you how to do that. I know it took me a little bit long and it was a little bit hard to actually see, but you kind of get the gist. And I obviously showed you him in the snake hook. Now, I'm sure Gordon will placid out more when I get him a bigger viv eventually. He's obviously only small right now, probably just over 2 foot long. It's not very big. So the 2 foot enclosure is completely fine for him. It's got overhead heat, proper climate, it's got many places for him to hide, bask, anything he wants to do. So now he's calmed down, look. You might be able to see a tongue flick. Yeah, look at that. So the tongue flick is the same as all of the snakes. It's basically smelling the surroundings, because that's how they do it. They like smell through their tongue. It's very weird to explain. That's not what this video is about. But yeah, that is how you handle and how you get out a cage defensive snake. Now with bigger snakes, obviously you're gonna have to get your hand in there or get a big snake hook. I will show you in a future video, probably a shorts, how I get the big blood python out. That's a little bit more complicated just because she's heavy, so if she tries to get herself around something, it's a lot harder to get it interlocked. But she's very similar in the sense that she won't constrict herself around stuff, because blood pythons are very off balance because of the size of their body, but the actual width of their body. Similar to hognoses, but blood pythons are, if I'm not mistaken, actually constrictors, which is interesting. But yeah, this is Gordon, the cage defensive hognose snake, and I just thought you'd enjoy me getting him out and showing you how to do it. If you've got any questions, feel free to leave a comment below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I shall see you next time. Goodbye.